Hello, everyone. Welcome to VFCCA's monthly meeting. And it's 6:35, so we'll get started. We have Stephen from Lakeshore. He's the regional manager here at Lakeshore. And he has some amazing things to share with us. And if we are very nice to him, he might be kind enough to give us a little surprise to take home. So let's give it up for Stephen. Stephen, we are all yours.
Well, thank you everybody for having me. It's nice to see some familiar faces, and it's nice to be here with you virtually. I'm going to put on my share my screen. As I do this, again, really want to say thank you for the opportunity and getting to know you all in some unique ways, as I've done so in the last year. And I think moving forward, the opportunities for us to get to know each other further, right? So share my screen. Can you see my? Okay, so I'm going to do this. Oops. Let's go here. So making sure you can see everything. Are we good? And I want to make this as interactive as possible. It's not just about me sharing things with you, but I also want to make sure that, hey, if you do have questions, go off mic. Don't need to necessarily use a chat and ask questions as we go along. And I think the one ask I ask is later on, I'll ask some of you to share what items that you like from Lakeshore. I want to learn from you, and finding ways that, hey, these items are beneficial, and being able to hear your stories of how you're using some of the materials at your sites. So I would love to also learn from you all. Okay. So again, I'm Stephen Day. I cover the Alameda and Santa Clara and Monterey areas. I've been with Lakeshore for just a little over a year. A little bit about me, and before I go any further, this is what makes me, right? I share this with you because I've got kiddos in that 0 to 5 age. I've got two kids, Zoe and Ben. They're 6 and 9. So, and this is what drives me every day. This is what motivates me every day. And I've got an amazing wife, Jessica. She supports me on all levels. A little background on Jess. She is a teacher, out of all things. And that's, I've got a soft place for teachers in many ways. My mom was a teacher when she was teaching. And there's something special about educators that, I'm tied to in some way, right? But again, I share this with you because we are local. We live right here in Newark. So if you need me to support you, if you need me to meet you at the store, you need the store for anything, call me, text me. I want to make sure that you feel welcomed and you feel supported, especially through these times and as we move forward, right? So before we go any further, I've put most of the names inside inside my hat. So I see we had a few people sign in. Let me see. How do I? Go to chat, participants. So there was a few people that signed in. I just want to go through the names. So there's Monica.
So Monica, Chandra, and then Priyanka.
Monica, Chandra, right?
Yes, and I put their names on the chat.
And who was the last one? Priyanka?
Priyanka.
All right. We're going to stop in little places through here. I thought about doing trivia. It's a little harder to do in a virtual setting. So I figured, we'll do it the traditional way. And this is the surprise that Shruti put together. I've written down all your names inside this hat of mine. I've got a good old dad hat. And, if someone was with me, so I've got everyone's names in this hat. And we're going to do a little prize. So we're going to kick it off with a little prize before we get started. So I'm mixing it up. And there we go. Got a name here. And this is for a $25 gift card that will be sent to you. You can use that, obviously online, or if you'd like to go to the store, you can use that. So I'm going to open this up. Oh, it's Carol. I don't know if you see that. Hold on.
Thank you. I see that.
So Carol, if you don't mind doing this, sending me an email with your contact information. I'll get with Shruti if we forget, but please shoot me an email and I'll get that over to you. All right.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much.
We'll take little breaks in between, just to change it up, and I hope you can appreciate this a little bit, in a way that rather than trying to do like the trivia or even trying to do Pictionary, that can be a little bit challenging, right? So let's move on. I don't know if you may know what these numbers mean, but there's a reason why I'm showing them to you as a tie not only to Lakeshore, but ultimately what they mean for you, right? So there's three numbers up there. There's 1954, 4,000, and 60 is a number. Oops, I need to change. This needs to be 5,000, so my error. 1954, 5,000, or 60. Anyone want to guess what these numbers mean?
1954, Lakeshore was founded. 5,000 could be childcare providers in our area. And 60, 60, I have no clue.
Nancy, you're on mute.
60 stores, 60 stores.
Oh my gosh, you're right. So let's go through this. The reason why I'm showing this to you, so 1954, yes, a lot of folks don't know we were founded in the Bay Area, and that happened in 1954. I'll give a little bit more history in a little bit, but again, I'm showing these numbers to get us started. There's over 5,000 products in our catalog and online that you can use to support your program and your families. And I'll share why I'm showing this number to you again, because it also ties to what it means from Lakeshore, because it comes from teachers, it comes from educators, through the system, through product development, and to you all. And the last number, as Nancy said, yes, we've got 60 retail stores nationwide, and then we've actually got 3 in the Bay Area, right? I think you're very familiar with San Leandro. We've got San Jose, and then we've also got our site in Walnut Creek. So I know some of you are familiar with that. So 1954, right? So this is Ethelene Kaplan. So 1954, she moved here from the Midwest with her kids, and she opened her toy store, Lakeshore Toy House, on Lakeshore Avenue, right, in Oakland. So if you're familiar with Oakland, you got Lake Merritt, and one of the adjoining streets is Lakeshore Avenue. And there's a picture of the store back in the 50s. So she moved out here, and in that first 10-year period, as she was getting herself established, there was a lot of connections to education, where programs, districts would come to her and say, hey, can you customize some of these items or these focuses for my classroom? And that's really where Lakeshore Learning evolved. A little history here, we're still privately owned. These are the family. So this is Ethelene, then her sons took over the business, and now the grandsons, Bo and Josh, run the front side of the business. That's Bo, he's the CEO. And then we've got Josh, who leads the product development team. I share this with you because, yes, it's unique that we're family owned still. Their pulse to the business are educators such as yourselves. So any feedback that you share, any feedback that you would give us, positive, negative, neutral, please share that. How can we be better? How can we help you with your families? Share that. I will bubble that up appropriately. And you all are the reasons why some of our products come into fruition. And at the core of it, as I mentioned earlier, our products do come from you. They in turn come from folks at Lakeshore who were teachers or educators at some point in time, and really come from the learning aspect versus just, people think we just have toys, right? Any questions so far? Anything that any questions, any thoughts, anything that you all have for me?
if anybody has any questions, please unmute and ask, because everybody's muted except Stephen right now. So if you have questions, just unmute.
All right, so let me move on a little bit. So a little bit more about Lakeshore. We've got 2 distribution centers, right? We've got one in Kentucky. That's the newer site, and that supports the East Coast as well as the West Coast. But you've got one that's right here in California. The reason why I share this is if you need items very quickly and we don't have them at our retail stores, we've got an in-stock rate of over 99%. We don't do any drop shipment. We are the designer developer of our material, and I'll touch on that very lightly later. But ultimately, that means everything from Lakeshore comes from Lakeshore, and we'll let you know where those items are versus getting a drop shipment from random distributors, right? And here's an interesting fact, with our distribution center, our corporate offices that are in Carson in LA, we actually have our own CDC. It's on site, supports anywhere from 50 to 90 children, all from that 0 to 5 age. The reason why I share this, and this makes this very unique, a lot of items that you may see in the catalogs now or online actually get tested and prototyped through our CDC site. I can think of when I first started with Lakeshore, there was a sensory table that I saw in that classroom for the 4/5-year-olds. And it was actually not released yet. They were testing it with the kiddos for safety, making sure it was height appropriate. Is it engaging enough? So to actually see products get tested through that really stood out to me. And on the other end of things, obviously, the kids that go to the CDC are Lakeshore employees. We support over, I think, 2,000 employees overall. And so these are kiddos that are part of those families. And the other interesting fact, as you start going through the catalog, the kids that you see in there are actually kids from Lakeshore. Their parents work at Lakeshore, and the kids are part of the catalog. So just a little interesting fact that some of you may know. Again, going back.
I'll stop you even for a second. Chandra, do you have a question? Okay.
Yeah. So I just wanted to ask, now that I see the slide, you mentioned about the Nature Explore classroom. So do you have like a line of products that, support or will help us create like a Nature Explore classroom as such? Like, do you have any separate line of products for that, more oriented towards that?
That's a good question. I'll go back to that in a little bit. I can show you some of our nature-like items. The reason why that's shared there is just because of the standards that we wanted to have created for those spaces. But I will definitely share some other resources that will help you. Was there anything specific that you're looking for, Chandra?
So I've always wanted to get certified as a Nature Explore classroom, but then I've been looking around for products. I tried multiple places to get those log type stools for the outdoors and stepping stones and all that, like made of real log.
Yeah.
And then I did go approach a few woodcutters and I got stuff, but they eventually cracked because of the weather change, because they weren't like really processed for it. So I've always been curious to find materials that are like organic, natural, or like anything that would support like a Nature Explore classroom with more woody stuff and more nature oriented. Yeah,
Got it. And I can show some examples, and I'll show you what we have, and then we can go from there, right? So thank you.
Okay.
And then kind of just going back to like items from Lakeshore, right? With 96% of the materials are designed and developed by Lakeshore. There's a lot of levels of testing, knowing that they're designed for multiple use. They're not typical quote unquote toys. They are used for, they're designed to really think in terms of how many hands are going to use this, how many times is it actually going to get dropped. So when you look through some of these bullet points, if you want to say, thinking that some of our items we drop test hundreds, if not thousands of times to make sure that it can withstand that many drops. As we go, we think of testing with water. Some of our surfaces get soaked for a period of time to test how water absorbent or not it is, and to test like multiple cleansing and disinfectant wipes. Our finger entrapment checking, our casters on some of our furniture, making sure those little, our kiddos' little fingers don't get stuck in there. So we have a whole team that supports these focuses, making sure that we have standards, because we know that it's our kids that are going to be putting their hands. You're going to be trusting our products with your kids. And so we're very detail oriented and very intentional with some of those designs. With that, you probably know, and I'll go through this real quick, most of our furniture has a lifetime warranty. And if it doesn't, it'll either have a 5 or 10-year warranty. That'll get identified on the item itself. And we've got Green Guard certification. As I mentioned earlier, through the drop testing, we've got some high product safety requirements. And the very last thing, we have responsible manufacturing. We work with many facilities around the world, and they're all in compliance with some standards that are based out of here, because we're based out of California. Now, before going into any products, I think this is just like a general page of where we've supported programs on the large scale to the small scale. Right now we are supporting programs, whether they're districts with curriculum-based items, or even home providers. They are looking at individualized items to support their kiddos, so they're not sharing all the items, so that if Ryan, in this case, comes to school in one little bag, you've got all his supplies, you have the manipulatives, you have the learning materials to support it. And then on the other end, we're hearing, hey, how do I leverage the outdoors? Like, how can I bring my classroom from the inside outside? And this was one item that was designed and developed at the beginning of, as we went into shelter in place, really thinking of what items can we put on a cart. And so we created something focused on language, focused something on math, and something focused on block play. And with the idea that these baskets have rotations for different children, and that they're easy to clean and easy to disinfect, ultimately bringing the classroom inside, outside, or being able to move it around inside because it's on a mobile cart. What happened too last year, and they actually revamped this focus for some mobile tables, and tables that are easy to move, that are on wheels, but designed for the preschool age, for 3 to 5. Leading even before we went into shelter in place, these tables, these mobile tables, were part of the plan. But it was really through COVID that the plan got accelerated, and we just launched our mobile early childhood tables. I'll share some slides with you later on of how programs said, hey, we would really want these sooner, because we can now change our inside space very quickly. We can unclip those casters, make space for gross motor time. We can make space for some nap time. But the other thing that we're hearing, and I'm sure you're hearing, how can I leverage the outdoors? So unclip the locking casters and bring that table outside, and now you can have a small cohort outside. And then on the other end of things, the big thing that we heard all of last year was, what items do you have for social emotional? And whether it's a completely made kit focused around social emotional needs, or some individual items around that too. And again, I can show you some of this on our website shortly. Any questions at this point? I think seeing this, are there any items that you like, any favorite items that stand out to you all that, hey, this is one of my favorite items that Lakeshore has? Nothing right now. Okay. Well, what we'll do right now is I wanted to do this, and I don't know if Shruti, do you have that wobble cushion? Got it. So Shruti has one of our wobble cushions, and I'm sharing this because it's a cushion, right? And it's double-sided. So on one side you have the dimples, and then on the other side you have a little raised, it's more of a raised surface, so it's got like almost like acupuncture points. So for a child that's sitting down in a typical classroom setting, it allows a child to give a little bounce, little energy. For some children, they want that sensory aspect when they're sitting down, and they can change the seat based upon their mood. So that's the, the normal, or what these cushions have been used for. I'm actually going to pull it on the website.
My grown son uses that.
Yeah.
I won one at one of your events, and he took it from the daycare kids and uses it all the time.
My son loves it, loves it. It is his gaming cushion.
So the reason why I share this with you is, there's some, unique circumstances where people like them because they're comfortable, right? They've got that sensory aspect. But there was an instance down south where a program wanted a significant amount. And let's just say, pardon?
Oh, I thought I was muted and I spoke.
No worries. Where they wanted about, at least more than 1,000 of them. A school district wanted to actually purchase floor mats for their kiddos so that they had an area to kind of mark their area outside, right? But in that conversation, like realistically, is a child going to carry a big mat outside every single time? But the things that really came from that conversation was, how can we identify a space for a child, whether it's inside or outside the classroom? We need something that's easy to clean and easy to disinfect. And as you may be able to tell, it's like a rubber plastic texture that's easy to clean and easy to disinfect, which can also be taken outside. You can put it down on the floor. The child can sit down, and now you've got your space. That is your space, right? Rather than going out, marking the chalk out or taping the areas out, really thinking in terms of this as a classroom management tool versus just the traditional wobble cushion, right? So I share this with you because I thought it was a very compelling example that I heard earlier this week. And being at a cost at under 20, and the flexibility of being able to say, hey, Ryan, I'll use Ryan, his name was earlier, that this is your seating area, whether you're inside, you're in my yard, you're on the playground. This seat means this is your space. Your name's on it on a Sharpie if you want to do that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, because of some requirements for the cleaning, the surface is easy to clean and easy to disinfect, right? So thought I'd just share that with you. Let's go back here.
So there's a question in the chat. Can these cushions be used outdoor long term? Does it work with changing hot and cold weather, as in we can leave them outdoors overnight?
They're designed for indoors, right? But I think in terms, if you're, all right, kids, we're going to go outside, go grab your cushions. We're going to do reading time outside, right? Grab your cushion, go outside, place it down. The kids read. Maybe the kids don't pick up after yourself. At the end of the day, you'll, obviously bring some of the items in, the toys, you'll put that stack back inside. So they're supposed to be used inside. I don't know if they can stay outside for a long period of time. That's a good question. I can find out, and writing it down right now. So, but it is designed for the indoors.
So just 2 colors, Stephen, or you have more colors in there?
So the colors here, we've got in our flex space. So a flex space is our furniture line that is for the elementary ages. And in that, we've got orange, green, and blue. Now, we do have them in some other colors, and there's traditional primary colors too. So if you prefer the darker blue, the red, or the green, those options are there also. Same price, different color. So. All right, let's just move forward a little bit. I put this up here because this is something that maybe might help you all as a group. And it's really to maybe simplify some of your purchasing online moving forward. And what we can do is actually create a login space for VFCCA where we'll have some specific terms tied to it. Maybe it would be free freight over 500, free freight over 250. And because of the association with VFCCA, you could take advantage of those terms, and we could provide you all with a login. Again, this is something that we can all have a further discussion on, but it is an option. It's typically reserved, typically used by our school districts and so on. But
Yeah, she can't do that because they're not.
oh, okay. I thought it was a question. The very last thing I wanted to touch on that is to do with Lakeshore is professional development. That is something that we do offer. There are costs to it, but if you have any focuses as a group and there are funds available for it, we are doing virtual trainings, and we've done that on a range of topics. So if there's a need for it, I'm pretty sure you have partners that you already work with to support you here. But as a side note, we do offer that as a service to you all. And again, we can have that discussion at an appropriate time. Now, you know that we have our Lakeshore Store, right? I mentioned that earlier. Earlier, I showed you that slide with the number 60. We're very lucky that we have 3 in the Bay Area. And the reason why I bring this up is if there's a need again for us to get together in some format at the Lakeshore Store, let me know. I think that was a magical experience I had with some of you, being able to share a few things like we are here, and also seeing some of the connections and the camaraderie between you all. I definitely felt that when I met some of you at our San Leandro store. So if there's plans to do something for teacher appreciation in May, or a need over the summer, let's have that conversation, right? And I know that's on Shrudi's radar. So if there's anything that you need, please let me know on that note. With that said,
we loved it, Stephen, and I've said this to you in person, but yeah, as an association, we loved being there, and the way you treated us, it was amazing. Thank you so much. We really felt very special, and everybody in your staff helped us with whatever we wanted. We just had an idea and you gave us the products. That was really nice. And I can speak for myself because what you recommended me, I had to go back and buy another set of those. So it was really nice.
Good. And that's the thing is, I think as you get to know a little bit more about me, and also thinking of how the store can be a partner to you, that's what I hope you can look at the store as. It's not, obviously it is a store. It's a place where you can buy items for your kiddos, but really to me, it's a communal place. It's a place where you can learn. It's a place where you can get your hands dirty. It's a place where you can say, okay, I need to brainstorm for some ideas around social emotion. I'll always use social emotion as an example. And you can go to that area, whether it's up front or you can go in the back area where you've got the outlet items, but you can get your hands dirty. You can look at the items, and that's all within what, a 30 to 40 minute drive from you all. Obviously, you've got the website to support you on that. But if you ever need to go to the store and you want that, you need assistance, Christina and the team at San Leandro, they're there, right? So they're there to support you. The other thing is, and I don't think we have anyone new on the call, if you all ever want, if you haven't been to the store, first off, please let me know. I'd love to give you, or have Christina give you, a store tour, kind of explain to you how the store is set up. It's not broken down by age group, it's broken down by domains. And in those domains, you have the how a child would typically learn, right? A lot of people don't know that. And when I first started Lakeshore, I had no idea what that meant. But again, now that I understand, if I'm coming into the store and I want to focus on, let's say, gross motor in this instance, not social motor, gross motor, I know that I will probably have a range of kids on an age spectrum from maybe 2 to 5, right? And so I can go to that area and find items for my 2-year-olds and maybe my 4-year-olds, right? So if you ever want a store tour, if you I want that experience, it's something that we do give you. And so we can do that. Shoot me an email, reach out to Shruti, and we can make that happen, right? So again, think of the store as not just a place to purchase and find items for your kids, but a place that you can learn and get your hands dirty. So, and again, I don't want to reiterate, you've got the pictures on your website, some of the, with what we were able to do with you guys, a few, was it late last year? I forget when it was. It seems like yesterday, but again, we can do something special for you all again. And if there's any focuses that you want, we can really highlight that. Now, before I go any further, let's do one more.
One thing I quickly want to say, if you are going into Lakeshore and you have your club membership card, but you can also give in VFCCA reference, my phone number is there. Because when I went, the first time it was not helpful for me, but the second time they asked us for our association name. And I don't know if you can explain why that was asked, even though were we getting extra discounts when they asked our association names?
They also want to make sure that, yes, they're going to make sure that, hey, you've got the best options to save money when you're there. And also knowing that, we're supporting you on all levels. I think the store also wants to know, is it an association that you're coming in on, and understanding like, okay, wow, this whole week, there's a whole bunch of folks from VFCCA came in. Why is that, right? And so trying to get a better understanding of how we can support our programs. And regardless if you're a single owner without a association to support you, or you're with a school district, right? I think we just want to know where everyone's coming from, so that if we see that, hey, wow, this organization that's coming in, they're coming in a lot. I wonder why. Can we support them on a better level? Did they know that we can open up the store for you between the hours of 8 and 10? So again, those are some of the reasons why that was asked. So, but yeah, I think we had someone else log in, didn't we, Shruti?
Yes, we had a couple of folks logged in after that. If you want, I can quickly send you a text on here.
Okay.
In the chat.
Yeah, in the chat. I'm just gonna manually write this down. So where's my chat? Oh, there it is.
Stephen, can I quickly say something?
Hey, Johnny.
Hi, how are you?
Nice seeing you.
Okay. I know like a lot of people are asking questions about your outdoor, right? Remember you were mentioning about this person who has done a whole center just outdoor. And I was just mentioning another friend in Walnut Creek has done the same. Like Lakeshore people came, they designed, they did every layout. I think she's been running it for the last 4 years. It's a complete outdoor classroom. They last really long. So 4 years, no problem. So far it's good. So 4 years guarantee for sure. I don't know about the 5th year, but 4 years, perfect.
Thank you.
Even if you ever need a spokesperson, hire her.
And I've told him Stephen is working on that, right, Stephen? I sent you Genius Kids. I sent you a lot of centers last week. They did a huge purchase in your Walnut Creek.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. What we'll do, I'll show you some of the outdoor spaces of some of the designs that we've done. And that'll be part of what I'm going to show you in a moment. Obviously you've got me here as a resource. You've got the store. I think I've said that a few times. You've been able to benefit from that. And obviously you've got the products, but there's a few free things, additional free resources that I want to highlight on this call with you. But we'll do what well, I don't know, maybe we'll do more than one, but for now we'll do this. And I'm just going to turn my background so you can actually see my hat. So let me take my virtual background off for now. There we go. So I'm no longer in my classroom. I left. But here we go. So there's my hat. And I'm going to go like this. And we're going to pick this one out. Drum roll. Rabia?
Yes.
You're a winner.
Oh, great. You see my name now.
Yes, you can see your name. So
Awesome.
what I'll ask is, yeah, please shoot me an email, or again, I'll note this down. I can get back to Shruti, and I'll have that sent to you electronically. So you can either use it online or use it at the store. If you plan to use it at the store, let me know. And that way I can make sure that, you know, we take care of you also in that sense. So
Perfect. Thank you.
you're welcome. All right. So we have our online resources, and I'll actually share my screen to that, but wanted to point this out to you. These are free resources that are right on our website. There's videos on our YouTube channel. They're mainly in English. We do have a few in Spanish, as you know, for some of the programs that are out there and some of the families out there, but most of our items, most of the videos on our site are in English. Just letting you know, we have those Spanish options there also. And on the left-hand side, we've got some resources that support, whether it's printable materials or activities. All that is 100% free on our website. And I'll show you a couple in a moment as I switch over to my other screen. So close this out. Oops. And I think you can see my website here, yes? Good. All right, so this is just lakeshorelearning.com. There's nothing special about where I'm at. This is something that you see. And along the top here, we've got obviously the products, items that are on sale, stores, our services, and I touched on a bit of this, our ePro site. I'll go to our complete classrooms in a little bit. That's where the drawings are of the outdoor spaces. But if I go to resources here, I can now go to our catalogs on this side. But here are the free resources. And let me just click on free resources home, and that'll go to that screenshot that I shared with you earlier. And if you take a look and I click on here, I'm going to hit command and click. Is it open it? Let me do this so it's easier. It will go to, and forgive my internet's going to be a little bit slower. We've got our featured videos here, which are direct on our on our YouTube channel. I have the YouTube channel shared on the left, but again, I can share these links either in the chat or as a follow-up email, but really around tips and tricks for learning at home. Some of the items focuses here, like fine motor activities for preschoolers. They're short videos, nothing longer than 5 minutes, to really help you with ideas, with learning with the kiddos. I think also in turn, some of these items could be shared with your families, because maybe you can see that one of the kiddos could help, or the parents may need help on something. There are videos on here that can help support that also. Some of the learning activities, counting with fun around an obstacle course. Here's a STEM challenge, something you can do with maybe some of the older kids, how to design and build a paddle boat. So use these videos, whether they're in class with your kids, or be able to share some of these with the families. And I don't know, have any of you seen these? Have any of you used any of these videos with your kids? Okay. Well, what I guess once you do, I would encourage you that you explore the videos. Send me a little message. I'd love to hear what's working, what you found cool. Maybe you did share it with another family and they said, oh, I absolutely love doing some of these fine motor activities with the kiddos, right? Or, creating personal learning bids for the kids. Like, let me know what stories are working for you, because I'd love to hear if any of these links are working. Now, I did save a couple of these things that I'm familiar with. And if I go back to resources and I click on free resources here, and just making sure this is scrolling right. Can you see that? Yes. So we've got learning activities. You've got printable worksheets. You can create your own flashcards. But one of these things that I thought would be interesting to share with you, under learning activities, you get a PDF, right? It gives you some basic instructions of what you can do with basic number toss. You don't really need much. These are items that you probably already have in your at your sites. But the objectives, and this is what's nice about this, is this is for preschoolers. Why are you doing these, playing the number toss game? It's to develop gross motor skills, hand-eye coordination. Maybe it's around cooperative play, and also identifying and learning your numbers, right? None of this here, other than the soft and safe sensory balls, are Lakeshore items, right? You may have paper plates. You don't need necessarily paper plates. You could use a piece of paper, right? You can use our soft and safe sensory balls or any soft ball. I mean, you could also think about it. You could just crumple a piece of paper if you don't have a ball and use that as an option. You need a marker to write out the numbers, and then the painter's tape to put the numbers on the wall. And then so basic instructions, really, what you can do to get started, what the activity is, and at the very bottom, there's an extended learning option. For more fun throwing practice, try our foam ring toss game. It's a great way to get the whole family involved. So again, this could be something, hey, we did this in class today. We did this at the center today as a group. Here's something you can do at home with your kid as an extension of what they're learning in our classroom. Again, these are all 100% free. A lot of these will have the PDFs right on the site. So whether you save it to send out via email, or you print it to go home with a parent that day, I truly believe that some of these activities and these crafts will definitely help complement some of the initiatives that you all have. Now, talking about crafts, going through the menu, down here at the bottom, you've got craft ideas. Maybe this month or this week, you might be focusing on something around language. You can go through there. So let's just pick a random one. Here we go. Homemade Play-Doh. Let's click on this. So full instructions on how to make, I know it's messy, so maybe you wouldn't want to do this, but maybe you do. But really giving you full instructions on what to do to create your own dough. Ingredients, again, you've got YouTube videos online to do this, but this is just one of the examples that's right on the website. Again, whether you use it for yourself, or you can say, hey, mom and dad, here's an activity that you can do at home with your kids. It'll be fun. Come back on Monday or Tuesday and show me the letter or the color that you made, for instance. So just options that you can essentially share with your families. Let's take a look here. I know we just passed Valentine, so maybe that wouldn't be appropriate. Oh, here we go. Here's interesting. So under science, let's click on the autumn bird feeder. Again, maybe some really designed for some of your older kids, but finding items that are around the house that you may have. You probably will have some versions of paint, and you'll need some basic supplies. Again, not necessarily items that are from Lakeshore, that is highlighted here, but some of these items you'll have at your site, and you can then make that bird feeder for the birds, right? So again, this is really designed for some of the older kids, but I'm sharing some examples with you just to show you that, hey, you can go to this site. These are 100% free. And if you're focusing on anything, are any of you focusing on anything that's coming up? And maybe we can look at one together.
Easter.
Okay. Let's see if we can find for Easter. So we're going to find it probably more around spring more than anything. So let's just take a look at spring flowers. Let's check this one out. So again, this is really for the older kids, but maybe you can cut a little bit of this out, by prepping it. Maybe you're okay with doing it with some of the younger kids, but you've got, the collage pots. These are items that are from Lakeshore, but you can get creative, right? You can find alternative items at your site. So that's the example, right, of the items. But as you go through here, you have paint, you'll have variations of buttons. You could use different paint brushes that you already have. You have glue, construction paper, and really invite them to do these instructions. And it's all laid out for you so that, as you're prepping, you could print this out and now you have an activity for the day, for instance. Let's take a look at one more. Let's take a look at one more. Let's see if we can find another one. Here we go, Colorify. So again, preschool. So again, some of these items are available in Lakeshore. You may already have them, but all the items are broken out here and the directions are laid out for you. Again, whether you print it, you forward it to the parents, you save it for your own use, that's there for you. And it's nice because in this example, there's a little bit of literacy tied to it, right? I see a little garden critter. He's sitting on the ground. He creeps among the pretty flowers and slowly crawls around. So very interesting to be able to see that, hey, you're not only building and putting something together as a group, but there's some literacy that you can tie to it with that poem. So the other thing that I want to show you that's right on our website is on our services page, and it's under complete classrooms. And it's really just to help you get a visual of what we can do for a program, where we can come in, where I can come in, measure out a classroom space, get the dimensions to that space, right? And figure out what are your focuses? Are you aligning it to ITERs? Are you aligning the classroom to ECHRs? Does it need to meet specific NACI standards? But on our website, and this is really for you, you can actually look on our site and say, hey, I want to enhance my outdoor learning. You've got an example here. I'll click on it. It'll actually pull up this PDF. And if I came out to your site and I did a measurements, and this is part of our white glove service, we would set up a drawing similar to this with specific needs that you're asking for, whether it's all the furniture items with the manipulatives. But here is an example of that. As you scroll through, you've got different angles to the classroom from different viewpoints, and you can see the different areas. You've got the easy to clean carts, you've got the block play area, you have the stepping stone area. You also have some collaboration areas around the tables. And you can notice in this it is designed a little bit around what physical distancing means, right? You can see that, hey, the kids are directly on opposite ends to stay physically distanced, right? But socially engaged. And then you've got our four-way outdoor easel, so children can still have parallel play, interact with each other, but still you feel that they're, again, physically distanced and socially engaged. And as I scroll through, here are some of our outdoor items. This is a cabana, little cozy corner. Here are the easy to clean carts that I showed you earlier. And then the outdoor blocks that are actually designed for the outdoors. These are made out of the Trex material, almost like the artificial decking. And as I scroll through at the very end, right, these drawings, because they're generalized, it really states here, hey, this is for the 3 to 5 year range. How many kids? Enrollment for the outdoors would be 10. And this is designed for a space that's around 1,600 square feet. As you scroll down through here, you can see all the items that are on those renderings. They're broken down by learning areas, the block center, dramatic play, the music area, math, and the manipulatives. And as you scroll through here at the very bottom, you can see what a complete outdoor classroom would cost if you wanted something that was very comprehensive. And it's not just the furniture, right? This is also inclusive of all the learning materials in that. So I'm using that as an example. If I scroll down here to another example for, where does it go? Outdoor preschool. Again, different rendering, but similar angles, right? And as I scroll down to the very bottom, you've got your outdoor environments, and then what that classroom would look like with all those furniture items for the outside. And here is the breakdown. This space is a little bit different. It's a little smaller. It's designed for 20 children, but again, for that 3 to 5 age group. And it's not just the outdoors, right? We design spaces for the indoors, but I know that question came up about the outdoors, and knowing that we've done both. So please use this as a resource to get ideas of what you can do, not only with the inside spaces, but also with the outdoor spaces also. Any questions? Anything so far? I'm gonna wrap it up here pretty soon. I want to make sure that, hey, if you do have questions, I want to learn a little bit from you all and take that back and into my knowledge base, make me better too. Anything from you?
And you can do this in a family childcare setting as well, because I mean, these are huge areas and we don't have huge areas in our house. Ours is really compact.
But that's the thing. The reason why I'm showing this is really to think in terms of, maybe my space is smaller, but I could do with a little reading area, right? Thinking in terms of, oh, wow, this is a dramatic play area. What items can I find on this list? So I should have clarified that at the beginning, really thinking in terms of there could be little areas here that you could take away from. And rather than needing to, if you needed me to come out there to meet you, no problem. But ultimately, I think a lot of the resources are right here on the site. So you can say, okay, I want to focus on my my block play. What items can I look at, right? So I can go through the list and say, I don't have this. Where can I find that? Okay. And that's the reason why I'm showing this, just to give you ideas of maybe someone needs to focus on a block area or more items around dramatic play. But having that nice visual helps understand how that might look in a space. So we'll do one more little raffle. So we're doing a little drum roll. And uh-oh. Oop. Hina.
Henna?
Hannah?
Henna, yeah. Sorry.
Oh, lucky me. Thank you.
Very good. What I'll do too is just please email me, or we can go through Shruti, just to make sure I get the right email address for you all. So
Thank you.
you're very welcome. I think that's really it for me now. Again, I'll make sure that the links to the free resources are available. If you want, if it makes sense to have some of these free resources on your website, feel free to post them up there. I know some of other programs do that, just because of the learning aspect, both the videos as well as the print material. But if you need anything from me, my cell phone's there. As Janani and Shruti and a few others on the call know, I'm good with text too. So if that's easier to communicate, to get a conversation started, texting is fine. And there's my email. So I'm here to support you. If there's anything we need to do at the store, again, I said that earlier. If I'm not available, Christina and her team's amazing, as well as Gay at the Walnut Creek store. We're here to support you, and I hope that we can make you feel welcome, and we can continue to be a partner to you all, right? So I guess that's a thank you really from me. I appreciate everything you do for our communities. And ultimately, I'm thanking you all for listening to me for the last hour. But I hope that, if you have questions, please ask, or share your feedback, right? I would love to hear from you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
Stephen. And in the beginning of the call, we said, if any one of you has any Lakeshore items that you want to share with Stephen and your feedback about how it's helped you in your program, or if you like it, this is the time you can bring out that item and show it to him. And I have my two, but I'm waiting for anybody else to show it to everybody. So, I mean, it would be a great resource for us to also know what is working in your program, and other providers can also see it's how helpful it is.
Thank you, Stephen. One of my favorites right now is the magnets.
Oh,
Which ones?
There's squares and triangles.
Okay.
the magnetiles.
Oh, the magnetiles, yes.
So they
I
come in
don't know,
different colors.
I'm not trying to promote Steven, but like how you were saying about that white gloves thing, you guys should try, because if you have a good space, even if it's a smaller space, Steven is so good with measurement. The team gives you exactly what toys is right for that space. And I was lucky enough to get measured for my center, but they do a great job, like the layout, the materials, everything, especially for a family childcare. If any of you do have a little, even like a bigger space, it works perfect. I think they can accommodate even for a family childcare. They're really good. And the best part is he doesn't force you, so you don't have to feel pressurized at all. Steven is great with that. So
Absolutely.
it's good to have.
And that's the thing too, is that if you need ideas for spaces that you have, and you feel like, it's not worth for me to come out, reach out to me. We can have that conversation. We do have examples of what we've done in partnership with other family childcare providers, and we can show you some of those drawings that we've done. We'll obviously take out their names, those programs, but really to show you ideas of, wow, okay, how can I leverage another space at my home in a unique way, but also thinking in terms of how can we keep it safe, and focus for the kids and for obviously your own family. So those are things that, if you think are going to be valuable to you, to me, reach out to me and we can have that conversation. And if you feel like, oh, you know what, don't come out, and no reason to do that, I've got some other drawings I can share with you too. So don't be shy. I don't bite. I'm very kind. I only bite sometimes. I'm just kidding.
So, sorry. I would like to give some feedback. So I have a lot of Lakeshore stuff in my daycare. So one of my favorites, some of my favorites, let me show you pictures. So I like this canopy that we use. Those are all my toddlers. They just love it. They spend hours in this little chair under the canopy. They pull it so hard, and I always wonder when it's going to fall, but it's never like ripped apart. So they're like 3 or 4 kids, hanging over it, and it's always been very durable, and I really like it. These cushions, we move these cushions everywhere, and I have that flex space, the chair. That's my favorite because it gives a great support for my back when I sit down on the floor with the kids when I'm reading. That's really good. The bench is really good. So I have a lot of stuff from Lakeshore, and I'm definitely a fan of your products.
Thank you for sharing that peek into your site.
Okay. And even these, like the tent stuff, right? Like the poles and the connectors, those are amazing. Yeah. So. And lately I got these magnets that stick to the wall, and they are like mini shelves which you can use. So those are pretty great too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing. That's one of my favorite items too. This thing. So you've seen this.
Mhm.
It's probably 4-seat. So, I mean, this is really more personal than anything, but when I think in terms of how I've seen them used in the classroom is
Mhm.
almost as a classroom management tool, being able to sit eye level with the kids so you're
Yep.
comfortable, you're reading with the kids. For me, with my kids, they take ownership over this space. My 6-year-old and my 9-year-old, I know it's a little bit older kids, but when I bought, actually no, Zoe was 5 when I got, no, maybe she was 4. No, she was 5. But I bought them both these and they took ownership over this chair and they associated these chairs with reading. So they would pull these, they should be reading more, but they don't. But they would pull these out and they would say, it's reading time. And I have a picture on my phone, and I think I may have showed some of you this when we met at the store. My son actually puts this between his bed and against the wall, and he likes his little canopy, but he puts a blanket over, almost like a fort. And my son is a lot more behaved, or he takes direction better than my daughter. And I hope they're not listening. But he still does this. He has the green one, and so he takes ownership over his reading time. And he still, even as a 9-year-old that's about to turn 10, uses this because he associates it with reading, and it's his way to say, "Stay away from me. This is my area. This is my zone. Let me get my stuff done." So I agree with you. These are amazing.
Yep.
I would like to share something.
Hi, Priyanka.
Yeah. Hi. Actually, my month never ends without visiting Lakeshore. At least monthly twice I visit Lakeshore in San Leandro. So
Wow.
my preschoolers are, I have now currently children 3.5 to 4.5-year-olds. So we are working with them more on like reading, and we are doing twice a week science projects. So for me, these items helped me a lot. Actually, I don't know whether I'm sharing my screen. I'm showing it properly or not. But the physical science and the science file folder games and STEM motion activity, these are my preschoolers loving it so much. They're showing lots of interest to learn about the science. So and the materials also very good to encourage the children to think. And they also provided some cards. For a single toy, there are the multiple ways how we can use it. They gave the suggestions for that one. So it is really good, the science material, and the quality also very nice. Also, I got another toy. This is a human body with all the organs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is last week our theme was healthy body. So as part of that theme, I used to you teach the children and show the children every day. Where is our brain, heart, kidneys, everything, we can remove it and assemble it again.
Yeah.
So now my children, my all preschoolers got a very good idea about where are the organs, where is their heart, brain, lungs, kidneys, and everything. So yeah, I'm really thankful to the Lakeshore for providing this kind of materials and helping us with all these ideas.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you so much. We enjoy the meeting as well.
Thank you for the feedback. I appreciate that. It makes me think of something I do want to show you on my screen. So just going back to my sharing my screen. Where is this? I had saved it and I meant to pull it up earlier. A lot of our materials, and I had this saved. So I think I showed this to you guys last time, the social emotional domats, right? And a lot of times, you might just see this as okay, I can ask the kids, tell me how you would feel if someone came along and kicked your blocks over. How would that make you feel? Does it make you feel mad, sad? You can help them identify. You've now got the option to have them either express how they feel verbally or actually use Play-Doh to express their feelings or what they associate mad to be. And whether you use this as a way to kind of gauge where a child's mood is for the day, or it is a way to have them learn how to express themselves, whether it's silly, mad, sad, happy. Now, a lot of times that's what you see this domat to be. Inside each of these packets, and I would say most of the products have an actual insert in there. a lot of people dismiss the insert as just another piece of paper. But there's actually full extension, learning extensions that are tied on these sheets. So in some of those materials that you showed, Chandra, was you'll have this as an explanation of how those items can be used in the classroom. So if you, just for clarification, for instance, with these dough mats, it helps develop the skills in describing emotions, social emotional understanding, and fine motor control because of doing the Play-Doh. And as I scroll down, it gives you ideas of what to talk about, right? It can give you a little bit more direction. You know, you might be familiar with how that would be used because you're comfortable with it, but maybe these are questions that you may have not thought, like, what do you think is scaring these children? What scares you? Like, what is the extension to that item for that child? And then thinking in terms of what else could you do with that item? And again, some of our items have this, and I'm using this as an example. The first piece here is encourage children to look through other magazines and maybe cut out images of people displaying different emotions. Then work together to support, to sort the pictures by emotion. So again, some of these inserts give you extended learning options, right? So I would encourage you, as you look at some of our material, look at some of these inserts, because there could be some added value of some extensions to learning that you could find.
And I have two things I want to show you that Stephen actually told me that I should buy because his son loved it. One was this. Stephen, what is this toy? I don't have the box with me, but my 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and my 9-year-old also loves this. This is the fort builder. I had to go back and buy another box of this because there was literally fights happening in my house for kids to, like, I couldn't divide it equally among all the kids, and I had to go grab another box. So this is a super hit item for younger kids, older kids. They can connect it either way and make anything they want, and that's fun. And the second thing is this. Oh my God, this is the best. Any toy I buy my tester is my son. Like Lakeshore has testers there with their kids. I have tester at my home to see if the toy is good or not. Even my 22-month-old tried to do this, you know, and I mean, he didn't succeed, but he loved the noise that was coming in from there every time he was trying to jump. But everybody else had great time. So if you go, and I forced a few of my friends to buy both of them.
She did. She tortured and she forced us.
Yeah. But here, I love the fort. I love the fort builder too. Those are my kiddos, and you can see them. You know, Ben. This picture was last year. Oops. But that's when Aza was 2, Zoe was 5, and Ben was 8. But there they are. Oops. There they are trying to work together to build something.
They're not adult friendly. They're only kids friendly. I tried. I fell down. So it's only for her.
Oh, come on. Janani, Sundar jumps on it. Okay. My husband uses
I
it.
jumped on it. I fell twice. So I was like, okay, probably it's not for me. It's kids friendly then.
No, it is not kids friendly. Even adults can do it.
But
Sundar
I will say with this fort builder, my son loves making a castle in his room with this and put a sheet over it. And then it's like a reading nook for him. And it was falling apart. So mommy thought mommy could make a better fort. And one day when he was in class, I went down and I loved it. I mean, I think I went back to my childhood because I was like, oh, this should be connected this way. This should be like, I was doing all the engineering there and I loved it. So if an adult can love it, I'm sure the kids will enjoy it so much.
Absolutely.
Just a quick thing for everybody. There's a poll that we've put out for our next shopping experience with Lakeshore. We did it last year. I believe it was last year. And we had a lot of fun. Stephen was great enough to open the store before the store opens for public. And he was nice enough to provide us with some coffee and snacks and also give us idea where I picked up these 2 toys. of what would be great for our kids and share his experience and expertise. So if anybody got that pop-up screen, please go ahead and let us know if you would like to go in spring, summer, or towards the back of school, so we can schedule it with Stephen and do an event. And please don't say all 3 times, because most of us will be broke by then.
Yeah, but just let me know. Like as a group, I think I'm looking forward to when we can see each other again in person. Obviously, being safe given the circumstances, but also what I really took away, and I said this at the very beginning, it is a magical experience doing something like that, and also seeing the connections from you all, seeing the happiness that you guys bring, and you hearing like, oh, I could do this in my classroom, and have you seen it? Like seeing that and hearing that and seeing those connections. I've said that I've shared this story many times with some of my colleagues. It gets little goosebumps on my neck because I feel the spirit. I feel your energy and your passion. So I love, if I can make it to be being there, and I'm sure I will be there. I thoroughly enjoy it. I learn a lot from you all. So
Looks
whenever
like
you
we're
guys
coming.
want-
Looks like we're coming in spring.
Okay. All right, we
So-
can continue that dialogue, and we can make
Yes.
those plans with Christina. So
Yes, thank you so much, Stephen. Thank you so much for taking out time. I know you have a little baby at home. And thank you so much for doing this for us. And if you could send us a follow-up email with how to go on the resource page, so I can forward it to all members who were not even here in the session today, that would be awesome.
absolutely, I can do
Thank
that.
you so much.
All righty.
Bye.
So if you want to communicate with Stephen, and is it through his email ID?
Yeah, let me. I just screenshot of the poll so I can save that. I'm gonna put my email information's here, but before I leave, I said I'd put it in chat. So sday@lakeshore, and I'll put my cell phone number on there. So if you want to save it, and we can go over there. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good evening. Take care.
Bye.